Hello and welcome to Media in Mind. We have another exciting and intuitive episode coming up for you today. Come on in the media booth, sit back, relax, and follow along as we bring you all the trending topics and multimedia. I did that all in one breath.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
We are recording in the IMAX studio in the Lone Star College-Tomball campus with our producer Monty Darlin overseeing the project as always, and as well as giving us the tools we need to create this series. Whether you're a new listener or have been following along since episode 1, welcome! We encourage you to stick around and listen to the great lineup we have for you today, and you get to hear our lovely voices.
Let's get our introductions in order. I am your host, Stephen Romero.
And I am your other co-host, Robert Abel.
And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing all of the new things that are coming to the public library that's connected towards Lone Star College. The Tomball Harris County Public Library is getting some very interesting additions to it, including but not limited to an art gallery, an innovation lab, and the trending multimedia services topic that we always discuss somehow, the virtual reality, which is going to be a part of the Innovation Lab.
So today's podcast is actually exciting because we're actually doing something a little bit different this time. Instead of one guest, we got 2 guests. So who are the 2 lucky guests coming in to chat with you today?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Rob. First off, we have Miss Janna Hoglund, the director of the Lone Star College-Tomball Community Library. And then we have Mr. Lloyd coming in next, the library technology specialist and Innovation Lab coordinator.
You think libraries are kind of forgotten about, but recently, like the library, at least here in Tomball, is actually, an up and coming and refurbishing and becoming quite well known around the Tomball community.
I feel like that's mainly because of the mission that the library has, because whenever a lot of people think about a library, it's just like books and stuff, right? But the Harris County Public Library in Tomball wants to expand and increase the amount of learning potential for people that don't just read, but want to experience what they learn. I feel like that's an initiative I can get behind. With the focus on both arts and the electronic mediums and design and things of that nature that the Harris County Public Library wants to start putting more resources into, it's going to not only widen the kinds of people that go to the Harris County Public Library in order to learn, but also create more of an output, a creative output for people that don't necessarily have access to these kinds of tools.
So far, what we've seen in the library is a children's corner, kind of like a daycare, and then they can be in the library while it's both a hangout and a learning experience for the kids. There's a learning center up above where the students can come in, get some tutoring, stay a little bit longer on the campus while being able to access the library's computer system. And so the library is actually going to keep expanding from there. So the library has actually been around for quite a while, probably a lot longer than we expected. Like, the original library location was from the 1920s, but I think in the early 2000s, that's when they were building it in the Lone Star College campus.
Yeah, in 2020, they're actually celebrating their 15th anniversary of being affiliated with Lone Star College-Tomball. And I think that's pretty cool, because within those 15 years, there was so much stuff that's changed within the library. Like, I was around whenever this location first opened. I remember they were hosting a children's corner in lieu of the library opening. We just did a bunch of arts and crafts. We learned about reading. I remember we had a little reading corner where somebody would read to us. And although it's a bit fuzzy in my head, I remember coming out of the library not really wanting to leave. And ever since then, the library itself has kind of held a special place in my heart. And I'm glad that it's expanding the way that it is with all of these new initiatives that are being brought to the table.
Speaking of the library, I know you have the guests coming in. I'm going to go to the library. I have one of my good friends, shout out to Lieben if he's ever listening, but he is actually working in the library. I'm going to go chat with him. I'll be right back. Continue without me.
Hey, by the way, don't you have some books that are overdue?
Crap!
And we're back. Hello, it's me, Stephen, as you already know, and I am here with Miss Janna Hoglund, the director of the LSC Tomball Community Library with Harris County Public Library Services. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I'm very excited to be here today.
I heard through the grapevine that this is actually your first podcast ever. Was it all you expected it to be?
Actually, I think it's much better than what I expected it to be, and it is true. It is my first podcast. Hope not the last.
As I've mentioned, you are the director of the LSC Tomball Community Library, which is located in East Hall, back right next to the department in which I work, honestly, just down the block. Can you tell us a little bit about your library and what it represents to the community?
Well, the main thing about our library is that we are in partnership with Lone Star College-Tomball and Harris County Public Library. So our library is based on collaborative efforts working with different organizations. We are very much engaged with our Tomball community, and we serve both academia, students, faculty, staff, and public of all ages, and we enjoy doing that. The partnership is a great benefit for our community. We value it very much because just think about it, putting resources of two organizations, two great organizations as Lone Star College-Tomball and Harris County Public Library, by putting our resources together, we are stronger in serving our community. We can provide more services. We can work collaboratively. We can come with more ideas and actually some innovative ideas and bring something new to the community. Because we are a community library and we're a community college, community is the key word here, because whatever we do here, it's about people within our Tomball and Greater Tomball community. We are engaged very much with our local organizations, with our customers, and with the community at large. The library can only be successful if you are engaged. If you work with people, with organizations, then you know what you need to do. That's why we're trying to bring our local organizations and get them engaged also through the library in serving the community. We actually have a lot of ongoing collaborative initiatives going on in the library that we work together with our local organizations, and we are very proud of it because it makes us stronger. Our partnerships make us stronger.
So you mentioned that you have a lot of collaborative efforts going behind the bookshelves of the library, because I've seen a lot of signs specifically for the Tomball Community Art Showcase, which is something that I honestly am supremely interested in. Give me a little overview on what the Tomball Community Art Showcase is and how you believe it serves the community.
Oh my, this is one of the wonderful initiatives that we have, and I love talking about it. Tomball Community Art Showcase, or as we call it, TCAS, is a great partnership between Lone Star College-Tomball, Harris County Public Library, and Tomball ISD. We formed this partnership earlier this year, and we had a grand opening and ribbon cutting back in March, where we celebrated students' artwork, the teachers of Tomball ISD and the Lone Star College-Tomball. And this partnership is about highlighting our art talent that we have in the Greater Tomball area. As you know, Tomball area is very talented, and our youth and our adults are very talented. And just think about the students that we have here at the college, an art program, and students at the Tomball ISD. Amazing talents. And we want to highlight, we want to celebrate it. And the thing is, it was very interesting that Tomball ISD actually, they were looking for an outlet where they can display their multiple talents that the art department can't share. And we were looking for the talents to be displayed. So a very great person got us connected. I was referred to a great person, J.D. Yanda, and he's a director of arts department at Tomball ISD. And we also got together with Lisa Morales, who is a Department of Fine Arts.
The Department of Fine Arts here. I love
thank
Ms.
you.
Morales.
Yeah, she's awesome. Lisa Morales is also on board here. It's, like I said, it's a partnership with three great organizations. And we thought, would it be a great idea to display the artworks of the students of both Tomball ISD and Lone Star College-Tomball? And we did. We would also like to celebrate other talents that we have. Lisa is wonderful enough, and her students are wonderful, to come to the library and perform for different occasions,
Really?
whether it's holidays or just a pop-up show. And we are really enjoying it because it gives us something extra. You know, the library is not only about one thing. It's about many different things. You know, Stephen, I have a question for you, actually. What do you think about library when you hear the library? The very first association comes to you.
Free textbooks. I kid. But in all honesty, that's actually a really good question, because I actually kind of grew up with some of the initiatives that y'all had back then. Whenever the library itself was a little bit newer in the collaborative effort and all of that, the first memory that actually comes to mind is whenever y'all hosted something for the summer, and it was like a water balloon fight. I remember that was a thing. This is like years ago. The reason why I remember that is because as we were in this like giant water balloon fight, everybody was trying to, get each other with water balloons. I didn't get hit once. And I hit like 5 other people. I felt like such, for lack of a better term, just an action hero, a Keanu Reeves kind of moment. But the more important thing about that entire experience was that I made friends whilst I was doing it. Over the summer, it was an activity for me to do. And we all got together and did multiple things in that vein. Like, I remember we did like an arts and crafts program over there, like whenever I was a kid. And because of that, there are all these connections. Some friends that I've made over there, I still talk to this day. I'm glad that now there's an even greater emphasis on bringing the community together in a similar way to my childhood experience.
You just nailed it. I'm glad that you actually brought up the summer reading program because it's one of our biggest programs that we offer our community for more than 2.5 months within a year, and it's always great. There are multiple activities that are also provided by our community partners, community members.
You mentioned how your partnership with our college is supremely important. Can you spitfire some examples of departments within the college that you work directly with and what they bring to the table when it comes to the LSCS Tomball Library?
Oh, do I have about like 2 hours to speak about it?
Unfortunately, no. So
Because, absolutely. We work with multiple college departments, and we appreciate them tremendously. One of the great partnership we have with the Center for Leadership, Academic, and Student Success. We partner with them via their community initiative Family Academy workshops for informing our community members and teaching them to prepare for college. Some faculty members, and Clark Friesen is one of them. He's helping us to do some fun activities, anything related to virtual reality. Clark is very big on that, and we are very thankful that he is sharing this knowledge with us.
how do you like virtual reality?
It was really awesome because actually virtual reality, it gives you the opportunity to experience the knowledge and data inside of this knowledge and data, and it's a full immersion. You don't get to distract on your phone, on talking with your neighbor. You put those glasses on and you are there. No distractions. You're fully immersed in what you have to learn. My very first one was the Dali painting. So that was amazing. And also inside of a hurricane and the Battle of Waterloo.
I'm not 100% sure how I came across this. I'm pretty sure it was one of our selections for the Diversity Summit, but I actually had a chance to experience the hurricane one for myself, and it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It is terrifying.
But it is very knowledgeable, right?
Of
You're
course.
learning. You cannot learn that with a different format in that way.
Of course, and that's one of the reasons why Multimedia Services is pushing virtual reality so much, and we're glad that we have the Tomball Library to help us with that, specifically with the Innovation Lab.
Yes, thank you. So the Tomball Innovation Lab, it's one of our collaborative initiatives that we have right now, and it's a big partnership that we have with many organizations. The first it was Lone Star College-Tomball in Harris County Public Library and Precinct 4 that when we presented this idea. And of course, all our leaders were so much behind it, and they really liked that. In a short period of time, we were joined by our local organization, again, Tomball ISD, HCA, City of Tomball, and other organizations. We are very, very excited about the special partnership and this initiative that will bring to the Tomball area where people will be able to come and be creative and innovative and have fun in producing what they need to produce. And this is a great tool that will have a great positive impact. I would like to thank Monty, you, and the team for helping us out with developing the idea of Innovation Lab. The original idea was for it to be a makerspace, and now it is a much broader concept because we wanted it to be Innovation Lab, Innovation Center that will encompass multiple innovative initiatives. Makerspace is obviously part of it, but we don't want to limit ourselves to just makerspace. Virtual reality, it was a part when we started talking with our partners about where we can go with this innovation lab idea. Virtual reality is becoming part of the innovation lab, and we really would like to continue working with the college, with multimedia services, with our faculty to get virtual reality attention and actually being able to provide virtual reality experience to the community at large. I mean, I tried it, I liked it, and I hope that people who will work with us and will experience that will like it as well. Because virtual reality basically provides you with enormous opportunities to provide multiple services that we even did not think about before.
I'm ready. I'm ready for all of this. And we will be getting more into detail about virtual reality and the Innovation Lab as a whole with Lloyd, who is an Innovation Lab coordinator. But before I get into that, do you want to talk about some of the stuff that's happening in the library now?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. I can talk about library all the time. And we have a lot of things going on. We will have a grand opening of George and Barbara Bush Family Place. We are one of a few libraries that received a grant from Barbara Bush Literacy Foundation to open a family place in a library. Family Place Library is a nationwide program that helps libraries build foundations for early learning by focusing on families and parents through their interaction with children. So some other services that I would like to talk about it is that we also have ESL tutoring. We coordinate ESL classes, literacy and citizenship classes, which are actually volunteer run, and it's free for our community. We also have 50+ bus trip that we collaborate together with Precinct 4. So we have seniors who come to the library and they enjoy some wonderful visits around the Houston area and Harris County area. We also hold author visits. In fact, we had an author visit with Dr. Nutt for her book, and she was very nice to be able to offer that author visit at no cost for the community, and we are very thankful for that. The library is proud also in offering multiple book clubs. We have After Austin Book Club, Afternoon Book Club, Paranormal Book Club, Mystery Book Club, International Book Club, Anime Book Club, and Book Club for Teens.
Well, thank you for coming on to our show. I appreciate all of the input that you have given us about the library and all of the workings and all of the programs that are going on behind the scenes. Are there any last words that you would like to say before you head off the show?
Actually would love to, and those words will be the words of appreciation. I would really like to thank Dr. Leon Nutt for her tremendous support of the library, of anything community related. We cannot exist without our wonderful facilities department who help us to be clean and inviting and welcome everybody to the library. We would like to thank all our academic departments with who we work with. It's been a great adventure to work together because, as I said, working together, we're stronger and we bring more. So I would like to thank everybody, and including you guys. You are wonderful to us, and I hope to continue this collaborative initiatives. And please come to the library. Everybody's welcome.
Alrighty, we will now transition into our interview with Lloyd about the Innovation Lab as a whole. And now here we have Lloyd, the technology person behind the Innovation Lab. He knows all the ins and outs about the makerspace and the technology that goes behind the Innovation Lab. So other than working with the Innovation Lab, tell me a little bit about what you do within the library.
So I am a jack of all trades technology, I guess you could say here. I actually was originally hired on to teach classes for the public in regards to just computers. So I often run basic computer classes that cover like how to use the machine, files and folders, getting online, and even using a lot of the Microsoft Office suite. As time went on, we found that the community has started to outgrow the need of just those. I mean, there's always a need for these classes, but the numbers that we were seeing were a little low. And so we decided to try and see if there was a way that we could maybe bring in the community with some other projects. And makerspaces and innovation labs in general have been really large, so we started to look into that. But other than just teaching classes, I also help assist with technology and programs. So big VR enthusiast, brought in my own VR headsets for a lot of the programs that we run, and just help out where I can.
Basically, you're like the technology guy.
Yeah, if there's a problem or something, they come to me, or if there's a new thing out that people are wondering about, they'll ask me.
Now that we've covered what you do other than the Innovation Lab, tell me where the idea of an Innovation Lab birthed from.
It's cool stuff to be able to work with these technologies and Currently, we didn't have much access to it. I first thought about it and I was like, could we just bring in maybe a 3D printer? We had already started to use these within the library system, and it was a checkout sort of base thing, but whenever we ran programs with them, we saw that there was a lot of interest. So I looked into it, and we ended up purchasing our own 3D printer here at the branch, and it's sort of taken off. There's a bunch of people who will print with us, and we run orientations on it, so it's open for the public. But from that also came other technologies that come along with 3D printing. A lot of times it's just creation in general, which is where the makerspace name comes from. But from there, we started to see children wanting to play with things, wanting to create, wanting to explore, and I started to look into other things and truly make it an innovation lab. So not only a place where you could create, but also a place where you could innovate and make things new, sort of a spark of imagination, pull it in, make your thing, redesign, whatever. It's a big, all-encompassing sort of name. It just sort of came from me wanting to explore this and bring it to the public so that they could experience it as well.
So with the Innovation Lab, what are some of the technologies that you want to implement? Because I know you mentioned 3D printers and VR, but can you get a little bit more specific?
Yeah, so there's a big list of stuff that we want to bring in, and what we have currently upcoming is a laser cutter that we just got in. It's a full spectrum laser, and it's going to be a 20 by 12 inch cutting space that can go up to a 1/4 inch with wood. It can also engrave stone and metals. But we also have tools for creation: soldering irons, Dremels, drills, everything that you might find in a workshop or something like that. Vinyl cutter is actually open to the public as well.
Wow.
It's nothing massive. I'm just going to preface that. It's a Cricut, but you can cut your own vinyl stickers, iron-ons, whatever, and that's all free. You just bring in your own material. And then we're also trying to bring in stuff for early learners as well, so robotics kits for children, makey-makeys and Raspberry Pis, so that people can get hands-on and start working with things. No concrete information yet, but we do plan to bring in more equipment, and as we get that, we will start making announcements on that as well.
One thing that I want to specifically bring up is the virtual reality. So what headsets have you already gotten / are you planning on getting for the Innovation Lab? And how are you going to work that through this entire Makerspace studio?
We currently have 4 Oculus Go's, and we are utilizing them in programming as well as just in facilitating VR experiences for play. In the past, we've run history programs, and we've had a knights and castles sort of thing, and we ended up taking patrons through virtual tours of castles out in England and in Scotland. We did an ancient history with Egypt sort of thing, and we dropped them into Pharaoh's tomb. There's a lot of things that we try and tie in with history, but also it can be used for other learning. You want to talk about maybe a scientific process with a hurricane, you can take yourself into the eye of the storm. Now, the one thing that we've been having a lot of issues with is trying to find content. It's an emerging market, and a lot of stuff is, as you probably noticed, is for fun. It's just gameplay, right?
Beat Saber for the win.
Right. So while that's great and it's a good experience for people to get their hands on VR for the first time, it doesn't do much in terms of imparting too much knowledge other than maybe some motor skills. One of the things that even I do is I'll go out and I'll film in 360 with a Ryko Theta or something and try and get some cool shots or something of an area that maybe is not well known. We're trying to find experiences that we can tie into more things.
No, this is the main thing that I actually wanted to touch on, or one of the main things, which is development, which is why I'm really glad that you mentioned that you have been practicing with like a Theta, something that we also own here in the studio, as you probably know. And do you think that a partnership between Multimedia Services and the library, or whatever subsidiary, could emerge with developing their own content for the virtual reality space? Or is that something that's like so far ahead that we shouldn't even mention it?
I think that, yeah, any partnership could definitely help with creating that content. Where there's the need, you guys have the technology and the know-how, and you can help make that a reality.
Are there any final points that you want to touch on with the Innovation Lab?
We are always growing, so just keep an ear out. You'll hear more in the future.
Thank you for coming on, Lloyd, and thank you for sharing your insight on the potential future and the technology that comes behind the Innovation Lab. I'm afraid you're going to have to go. Rob can't really fit in here with you in here, so
I mean, there's space on my lap. I don't see the problem.
Oh, well. Anyways.
That's all right. I'll get out of your hair.
Oh man. All right. How did that go? I was chatting with my buddy for a lot longer than I expected. I returned those books too.
They were like three years overdue, dude. Like, how did you? How are the fees?
Don't tell them about the fees. I managed to slip them in. Don't tell them.
Oh, sorry, okay. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. You, the listener, are the reason Media in Mind will continue to create content, entertain, inform, and discuss trending topics within Lone Star and multimedia.
Check out the description box below that includes links and destinations to our topics, as well as any links for more information on the Harris County Library.
Please be sure to visit our channel and subscribe to LSC Tomball Multimedia Services if you haven't already. This helps us grow, expand, and gives you a chance to be the first to listen to our lovely, lovely voices on the next cast.
Just before we go, we'd like to personally thank Janna and Lloyd for stopping on by to giving us great insight. We'd like to thank our producer, Monty Darlin, as always, and we'd like to thank the multimedia service team for providing the platform to create our work. For more information on all things iMac, head on over to lonestar.eu/tomball-mms.htm, which will be linked in the description.
This is Media Mind, and we will see you in front of the camera.